Again, I appreciate you all being here and jumping on. Perfect. Okay. So, as you guys are all here, we're talking about simple summer eating, but this can be applied to any season of your life, whether it's winter, fall, or whatever you're kind of going through. And before we jump in, I just want to start with a little bit about me. Everyone here knows who I am, but I just to kind of preference again of my mission. So, again, a little bit about my story is I struggled a lot with body image confidence, and I found once I found a passion for taking care of myself physically and mentally with my body and mind, I started to see that transformation develop and building that confidence. So now I use that to help others with a stall in progress, pain, or just feel lost in this fitness space and nutrition space, and instead have a more simple, sustainable approach with confidence and ease. And that's what we all are here for tonight is finding a simple and sustainable approach with confidence and ease, right? Making sure we're looking at it as a realistic approach and not something that feels so rigid or restrictive, something that works for you. Because again, we're all individual. And the goal with this class really is to have it be a little bit more discussion based and interactive. So I would love, again, putting in the chat just ideas you have, questions you have, or what has worked well for you as things come up is really, really great to share. Because again, everyone has a little bit different approach to the meal planning realm. All right. So before we get started, I'm going to put in the chat some questions for you guys to reflect on. So bear with me. I want you guys to reflect on these questions. And I think they're always great to come back to. So the first one is, how do you feel about the time and effort involved in meal prep? And how does this impact your overall relationship with food and your goals? Right? I think a lot of times we have this perspective or this view of how meal prep should look like. Like it needs to be 2 hours on a Sunday, and that's what it is, right? And that can really impact how you view food in general and your relationship with it and how you're approaching your goals as well. So, as you can see, different mental shifts are going to come up, especially when we start talking about meal prep and meal planning. The second question, again, you could answer it in the chat if you would like. And then here's the second one. And the second one is, what small changes could you make to your meal plan routine to make it feel more manageable, adaptable, and enjoyable to your lifestyle? Because at the end of the day, we want this to be something that you can maintain throughout your life and have it be sustainable. So think about little changes as we're discussing tonight, what you could realistically do to make it more enjoyable for yourself. All right, Everybody says, I just don't want it to take too much time. If it feels like a multi-hour project, I get overwhelmed. And that's exactly what I find is the most common approach is like, if it's overwhelming, no chance, we're not doing it, right? Like if I look at a recipe and it's like 3 hours or like something like that, it's like, that's not happening. And that kind of leads into the quote of this masterclass. So if you've attended one before, I always have a quote that I like to start with. And this one really resonated with me. So this one is, one cannot think well, love well, sleep well if one has not dined well. And it is so true because food is medicine, right? Food is information to our body and it sends those signals to whether, our hormone balance, our digestion, our energy levels. So it's really important that we are fueling well to perform well, whether that's in the gym, whether that's in your work, your relationships, your family life. It really impacts how you're viewing everything. I'm gonna let Trish in. Sorry, one second. Hello, Trish. Welcome in. Jump in the chat with any those questions we're reviewing in the chat if you'd like to answer those. But like I was saying, we really want to think about food as something that is going to be fuel to our body and allow us to perform really well. So that goes to saving time and energy with keeping it simple, easy to allow for more time and energy for all the fun. And what I mean by that is, I don't know about you, but yeah, I don't want to spend hours in the kitchen. I'd rather have it be 30 minutes or an hour to at least set me up for a little bit of the week. So that way I have more time and energy for all the other stuff I'd rather be doing, right? Like, last place I want to be is the kitchen. I've never been a great cook. Like, love the cooking and baking. That's just not me. So I'd rather have that time and energy be used towards things I actually really, really enjoy. Um, and I think that you guys can all relate to that. Right? We want to be out having fun or being with friends, family, using that energy elsewhere. So let's dive into what you really came in here for, the 5 strategies for meal planning. Again, some of this stuff, right, is going to be pretty basic and things you've heard before, but it's definitely a great reminder because I look at this as an approach to meal planning, right? Like, I think it comes down to having a system in place. I've noticed with working with clients, everyone's so different. And in order to be successful and make this a lifestyle, right, change or difference nutrition wise, we want to look at it as a system in place, compared to trying to have it be different week to week, because life is going to ebb and flow, right? There's going to be different seasons, and it's always coming back to that system or those habits that you built throughout time. So strategy number one is going to be prep, right? Woo, we love it, prepping. And that's gonna be those simple things, like things that you can have on hand ready available. So like veggies, fruit. I think it's like number one, always just have that on hand. Um, Again, whether it's frozen, whether it's canned, like whatever is gonna be most convenient that you know you're gonna actually be able to prep and have available. Like even if you cut up or buy the pre-cut, watermelon or um, having those baby carrots instead of the big long carrots, right? Like having stuff that you know will take less time and will work well for you. But number one, fruits, veggies. Secondly, what has really, really worked well for myself and most of my clients is bulk prepping protein. We know, right, protein is so important for hormone imbalance or balance, our digestion, satiety. When you're eating protein, you're actually burning calories, right? More calories to digest that. And it's going to keep you satiated way longer than compared to just having, you know, a, a piece of bread or something like that, right? We want to really bulk it up with that protein. So things like putting in, chicken breast or chicken thighs in the oven, just having that for the week already available, and you can mix it up with other meals. Sometimes hard boiled eggs, what I do, or like 2 pounds of literally beef, just so it's already done, and having some in the freezer. It's just really just being prepared with having more than you think. Is what I've learned. Because then when you're in a pinch and like you're like, we don't really have like I don't have time to grocery shop. Well, we can pull out the stuff in the freezer, right? That's really going to save you and save your time. Um, and when it comes to, so I know Dimity asked, yeah, what's your favorite way to bulk prep chicken? You're gonna laugh at this. Sometimes I do marinate it and like let it sit for a while. Otherwise, I just will um, bake it in the oven and put like thyme and oregano, salt, pepper, garlic, paprika. I load it up with spices. Like I used to be a girl that would eat plain chicken. I know, gross. And now I just literally put all the spices we have, and it's so good. But yeah, sometimes I'll marinate it as well. But at least that way I know I can, add a different sauce if I'm gonna make like teriyaki bowls or something, or I could use that same chicken for just with rice or something like that. But again, having some preparation ahead of time is going to be most valuable in the long run, right? Especially on those days you're busy, you can grab those pre-cut, carrots or broccoli, put in the air fryer. It's already like cut up, things like that. the most important thing to think about is this should not take more than 2 hours, right? This should be set aside 30 minutes to an hour. Um, you guys are this is kind of funny. So literally last night, and I wanted to talk about this, I literally we had like some zucchini prepared. We already had like ground turkey made. But I was like, I really didn't want potatoes. Like we need to bulk this meal up, right? We can't just have those two things. And we had some purple potatoes. I know I've been talking about these a lot, but we've had those on hand. And I was like, I don't have much time. Like I still have to jump on a call. Literally, guys, it took me 10 minutes. I kid you not, to peel them, like wash them, peel them, cut them up. Like they were small. I'll take that. They were small, but still 10 minutes. Literally cut them up. I was going really fast and put them in the air fryer, put some avocado oil, sea salt, and called it good. And then it was in there for 20 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And then it was done. Like, that's how fast. Like, a lot of times you don't realize how quick things are until you actually like do it. Like, it's more about like your the way you're viewing it. You're like, oh my God, it's gonna take so much time. But if you actually just like do it and like, wow, that took shorter than I thought sometimes. Um, but yeah. All right, so that's strategy number one. Strategy number two is gonna be try something new. So this is one is really, really fun. I think a lot of times, even for myself and most people, we are creatures of habit, creatures of habit and our routine. Think of like your morning, and if yeah, you sleep in little bit later, aren't able to enjoy that coffee, or kind of rushing around, you're kind of like miscombobulated. You're like, oh my gosh. And so we really, really love having our routine, keeping it the same. I know some people do like having a little bit of variety day to day, but there are at least some basic things that you have that are routine based, like nightly and morning. And so I think it's really, really important to keep an open mind when it comes to our meal planning as well and like our nutrition. And how we can do this is just add that little bit of spunkiness, adding something new, whether that is going to be a new item weekly, how often you grocery shop, bi-weekly or monthly. Um, I think a good one, if it's unrealistic to do it weekly, would be bi-weekly, right? Or monthly even. It's just so, so fun to like add a little bit something new in your life, especially when it comes to nutrition, different brands, um, a new drink, a new produce item, new veggie, a new ingredient. For example, like lately I've been trying to do, and this is not really eating at home, but just in general, applying it to when you're going out to eat and choosing some other options. Like a few weeks ago, we went out for sushi. I'm not a really sushi girl, but I'm like, I know, like, I want to spice it up. I want to try new things. Got like some salmon rolls, things I would just not really get. And it was great. It was fine. Like, and yeah, it just allows you to not just get stuck in the same old routine, right? It kind of allows for a little bit of excitement. And another thing I've tried is those poppy drinks, those prebiotic sodas added in. We've been having some of those just to have in the afternoon, just to, again, spice it up. Again, I'm not really a soda person, but it's been fun to be like, oh, a nice little treat, a nice little snack mid-afternoon. And yeah, with a little extra fiber in those as well. Um, Secondly, also just to talk about those poppies, those are like something not to think of being like your whole source of prebiotics, right? They're a nice addition because there's not that much prebiotics in them. Um, Another one was like there's like Dutch purple potatoes, different than like purple sweet potatoes, because those darker colors have the most antioxidants. So those deep, deep, bright, like, yeah, orange or purple are going to have more antioxidants. So always important to like, yeah, why not try out a new different potato if you do like those? Because like the Dutch purple ones we had, different than like, just those little small ones that are like white, they honestly don't taste that much different, but they have more vitamins in them and minerals, so it's super cool. Um, Cesare asked, so I'm looking at some of the questions in here. Yeah, I need to get back to you. I don't know what that oh, it's a Ninja. It's a Ninja air fryer. And I love it. You guys, that air fryer, like if you don't have an air fryer, what are you doing? I'm just kidding. But literally they are so easy. They're so easy. Like they're so easy. And what's nice is like I've even had um I even saw the other day like someone making salmon in them in the air fryer, which I haven't really tried that yet, but we're gonna try it this week. Um Super quick again with that. Um and it's just and it makes like veggies really crispy and there's certain veggies though that I know like for example broccoli and cauliflower I like more in the oven compared to the air fryer. Air fryer I feel like is better for like zucchini and some of those and carrots. Um, so yeah, there's like certain veggies I like to cook different ways. Yes, purple potatoes are at King Supers. Sometimes they're hard to find. So lately I've been getting them at Sprouts. There's Japanese, yeah, like purple sweet potatoes at Sprouts. They come in a big bag, which is really nice. So you have a bulk of them you can use throughout the week. Uh, Pretty cost effective actually. I like to get a bag of them. Um, yeah, Sprouts I know for sure has them, and Whole Foods. Um, okay, so that's number two. Number three, we're moving along. Um, Again, if there's something new you guys have tried, I would love to yeah throw it in the chat. Like if you like tried have been having some new food lately, yeah, feel free to share. I'd love to know. All right, so number three is gonna be fresh foods. Right, we know fresh is always better, right? Like whether it's at your local farmer's market, whether it's from yeah, like a local farmer you have in town, um, purchasing more produce, it just again connects us back to nature and supports yeah those locals and it I don't know, there's just something so satisfying about doing that compared to at the store, right? And not knowing exactly where it came from. Um, and right now it's great to produce, you know, purchase more of those in season, right? Fruits and veggies. I think it's really fun to have this continue as a strategy, right? So I know we talked about this being summer, but this can apply throughout the whole year as strategies and approach to meal planning. So whether yeah it's weekly or bi-weekly fresh foods so whatever is in season trying to get at least one thing I think is just a fun way to mix up what you're having right week to week and month to month so right now as you can see on this list avocados are great mangoes green beans tomatoes squash grapes broccoli you guys can read those for in August right now and um a lot of the local yeah most of you guys are local here so Denver and the area South Pearl Street all those markets a lot of them go to like September there's even more that are going to November so really cool to just check out every now and then to get some produce if you do not have not been they even they allow there's one stand that you literally grab a clear bag fill it up and it's $15, as many veggies as you can fit in that bag. Like what a steal. Like literally so nice. One time we did 2 bags full. I swear we were like our fridge was overflowing with veggies. I'm like maybe that was a little overboard. But such a great idea to just, you know, look up in your local area where there's one close by. And producing what's yeah, buying what's in season. Um I'm looking at the chat. Dimity said so sauce, super spice. Ooh, so good on eggs. I love that. I need to check that out, especially for a little spice. Overnight oats, yes. Overnight oats are super good. Quick, easy. See, that's what we're looking for. Convenient. Chad says for Saturday is also gluten-free farmers market. Oh my God, that's good to know. I'm writing that down. But again, it's something, the atmosphere, the environment of going to a farmer's market, right, is so much different than the store. It's right, it's so fun. Sometimes it can be really busy, but that's all right. Okay, moving along, we have 2 more here. So strategy number 4 is gonna be simple and realistic for you. That's the most important part. for you, right? Like what is going to be simple enough for you? That might look totally different to a mom, someone who has 3 kids and someone else that's, married with no kids or single at home, right? Like someone can spend a little bit more time, get a little bit more extravagant. The other one maybe is buying a little bit more pre-cut stuff, things like that. So finding that approach that works well for you. And the biggest thing to think about is you want to plan for simple meals that allow you to be flexible while still adding variety if you are looking for that. So what I mean by that is think about finding your staples. And you probably already have these. Like we all kind of have these. What do you gravitate towards? What is always like in your diet, if you will, like that you're having week to week? Those are probably your staples. And I think that's important to maintain um, while adding, those new items throughout the week. Um, so that looks like single ingredients that are always available to mix it up with different meals. So, for example, right, we could have eggs, right? If you like eggs with spinach and tomatoes with veggies. And then we could also have those eggs with sourdough toast with avocado. Or if we have chicken, right? We already like baked our chicken. We use that for a chicken salad, with spinach, arugula, with peppers, cucumbers, some avocado oil, sea salt. Or we can make that same chicken with tacos and have a taco bowl. Or like Greek yogurt. And we make a nice little yogurt bowl with chia seeds, hemp seeds, strawberries, blueberries, some walnuts, honey. Or we can have that Greek yogurt into our smoothie for a little extra protein. So as you can see, we're using a lot of those same ingredients. We're just mixing up that variety. And sometimes it's like, wow, that seems like, if you will, lame. But it's like, but that's real. Like that's what's realistic. That way you can really just continue to mix it up without having it be like, all right, then we'll have salmon, and then we'll have, you know, some beef, and then like tilapia, and then sometimes it just gets a little bit more overwhelming. So again, if that works for you, that's fine. But it's just finding those single ingredients that you can mix it up. While being flexible. So that could look like bulking, again, going back to prep. So bulk prepping 2 to 3 sources of protein, 2 to 3 sources of carbs, and then be able to mix and match those meals throughout the week. And I think also what goes along with this is just let yourself be flexible. I think I think, again, going back to like the mental aspect of this, it's also like thinking about your beliefs around what meal prep looks like or meal planning or food is to you, right? And it's a lot really come to terms like it's okay if I literally have what are they calling it now? Like a girl dinner, right? Where it's like a little bit of this, like tomatoes, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of sausage, and some nuts, right? That can be like a meal, and that's fine. You're getting in those nutrients. It doesn't need to be this more extravagant meal, and let yourself be okay with that. Because each day is a little bit different, and I know we're busy and on busy schedules, and let yourself be flexible in knowing it could be a mini meal instead of this, elaborate design of a meal, um, something like that you get at a restaurant. Um, and yeah, so I already went over reframe how you view meal prep, and having a plan, I believe, is better than trying to search for that variety, right? So people are like, I can't eat those same things like all the time. Well, that's okay, but more often I find people are like become okay with that because they feel better about having more time and energy to do other things rather than be in the kitchen, right? They feel better about having a plan in place compared to before trying to switch it up constantly, right? That's probably going to be more stressful. So that's why it's good to, save that time and energy for those other things. Um, Going off of that, what I wanted to ask you guys what specifically, like 2 of your top staples right now in your diet. I'd love to know, like specific foods, right? Like you eat daily. Okay. If you don't mind sharing those, that'd be great. All right. Last strategy we're going to go over here is going to be planning ahead. So, when it comes to planning ahead, if you haven't heard this, so important, right? If we fail to have a plan, we're planning to fail. We're kind of just like, oh, whatever happens. And then that just leaves room for, failure in a way. Um, so no, any plan is better than no plan. And that can literally be setting aside, whether it's 10, 15 minutes in your schedule, or just like mentally be like, all right, I'll spend a little bit of time here to plan 2 to 3 meals for the week. Or even if that's 1 to 2. Like I have, quite a few clients that right now it's just 1 to 2 meals, and that feels helps so much. And they have those other staples at home, but at least they know, like, all right, this is what breakfast looks like. This is what my lunch. That can be leftovers for the next day. That type of thing. Um, Helps so much just to have a few meals. And I'm not right. We're not talking breakfast, lunch, dinner, 7 days a week. It's like if that works for you, great. But more often, we want to save that time. So 2 to 3 meals for the week is really sufficient. And that could be, Monday dinner can be leftovers for Tuesday and the next day. Um, or again, what sometimes I do and clients do is just freeze it, right? Just put it in Tupperware or put it in a bag and like freeze it. Um, I know a lot of clients do that as well to help. All right, I'm looking at your staples: chicken, eggs, spinach. Yeah, eggs are great. Um, Yogurt and nuts. Yes, Lori, those are great. Eggs and sweet potatoes for breakfast last Tuesdays. Has been curry. Yeah, eggs sound like I feel like a big staple in a lot of people's. Um, and yeah, yogurt's a good one as well. Yeah, really good staples. Um, and then lastly, right, planning ahead as well is also going to look at grocery shopping and prepping. So again, coming back to being flexible, allowing it to be like, okay, it doesn't need to be every Sunday, right? We can let it be a Wednesday, or maybe it's a Tuesday this week. So it's okay if it's a different day each week, and let yourself just be able to, all right, let's schedule it in like an appointment. I'm grocery shopping after, a call or my meeting at 2 or after work at 5. I think it's super beneficial to just schedule that time in, just like you would an appointment, or just like you would a gym, the gym session, if you can fit that in. So that could be, yeah, Saturday, or it could be 2 days a week. Um, yeah, for example, for us, usually it is twice a week. That's how much I just feel like we need to at this point, even though it's just two of us. I don't know how that happens, but um, Sunday is like a weekend day usually, and then like midweek. And usually it varies just depending on our schedule. But then I just communicate. All right, I'm going to the grocery store, picking up a few things. Tuesday I have some time, and that way we're always just keeping up with having food at home. Um, and that's like the biggest thing is like if you want to make your environment full of success, right? That's if it's not filled with those nutritious foods, it's very easy to just go for those quickest things and just go through that drive through, right? And pick up something that you'd probably wouldn't normally pick up. So fill your environment, your kitchen, fridge with foods you enjoy, that are nutritious, that are going to serve you well to perform well. Um, that's like the biggest thing. And so that's why we usually spend, yeah, midweek picking up a few things, because if we run out, one, I'm usually mad. I'm like, oh, we ran out of whatever it is, butter. And I'm like, well, now I can't put butter on my bread, whatever it is. Um, so just having those things available really just helps you feel better and feel just more prepared. Um, for example, like going back to saving time and energy, a few weeks ago, again, we usually go shop on a weekend day. We went on a Saturday just because we usually are busy on Saturdays, but this Saturday we weren't. So we went to the grocery store, did some chores. But then Sunday, that allowed us to do the things we actually wanted to do and feel free and enjoy it with like a hike, making, a little bit of prep time, and already have our groceries, which just feels like a big accomplishment. So I don't know about you, but I hate spending time at the grocery store. Um, so it's always even good to have a plan when you're going to the grocery store, what you're getting, right? Having a list. I mean, all those simple tricks we've learned, like not going hungry. Like now it's definitely like in my routine where I'll have a snack before I go. If like I'm, haven't eaten in a while and I know I'll be hungry, or just something small, right? If it's just like a few nuts or like an apple or banana, whatever, just so I'm not starving when I get there. Cause like we know, we've all done it. We've gone to the grocery store, we're like, oh, that looks good. Let's put that in. Oh, I want some more chips. Like, you're just going for these other random things. Um, so yeah, try not to go hungry and go with the grocery list. Number one is always really helpful. So, um, so those are the top five. All right. So to recap, again, these are 5 strategies for simple eating. And you can think of it like PNFSP. PNFSP. Plan for nutritious food, simple and practical. I'll put that in chat. So that way you remember. And I'll also be sending out a handout here. I'll put it in the chat here in a second. With these strategies that literally you can come back to and use. My goal with it is just to be something, again, you can like run through, like, all right, do I have prep? Do I prep? Do I have, something new I want to try this week? Some fresh foods? Is it simple? And do I have a plan? Those are what those words stand for. Plan for nutritious food, simple and practical. Prep, something new, fresh food, simple, plan ahead. Okay, so those are the 5. Um, and that's a quick way to remember those strategies. I am going to also share this handout, and this has 3 recipes, which is great. And they're what's in season, which is even better. So avocados, some mangoes, and let me know if that link does not work for you, but it should. And it pulls up those 5 strategies and those 3 recipes. And those 3 recipes are cilantro lime chicken tacos. So good with some like carrots, some peppers, cheese, and some mango avocado salsa. And then lastly, so delicious, chocolate almond banana bites. So, so good. I had to throw in a little dessert. You guys know I love chocolate. I love dark chocolate. Love dark chocolate. Um, And this one, you melt it, you can place it on a baking sheet, and literally you put it in the freezer. Simple, nice little snack to grab, especially if you have little kiddos, or it makes a lot of it. It makes like 20 of them. So it's a nice little quick little snack with some almonds and stuff like that. So super delicious. Um, Kind of going off of those recipes, if you guys do try those, I would love to know and take me on Instagram. It would be really, really cool to see how you enjoyed those. And the one thing that's just coming to my mind now, again, sorry I'm jumping around, but one thing that did remind me of was when it comes to the foods that you're having in your house, right? And like planning and things like that. Planning for success, having an environment full of foods you enjoy, nutritious foods. I want to share with you the 3 tips that kind of recap my, like if I had to like sum up nutrition and like kind of go into other to kind of balance out the strategies, is going to be 3 simple things when you're making your meals. Number 1, protein first, right? We know, talked about a bunch, getting at least minimum 100 grams of protein per day. If you're around 80 and then the other day you're around 100, that's totally fine, right? It's always more about like more often than not doing the best you can. Like more often than not, what is your diet looking like, your nutrition, your meal planning. So protein first, having a nice plate of protein, veggies, some healthy fats, and those delicious, carbs as well. It's a wonderful plate. Secondly, we want to make it fun and a balanced approach to meal planning. We want to make sure it's fun and enjoyable and that it's going to last for you, right? So that looks like having those nutritious meals, but also making room for fun and yeah, having some, frozen um banana bites or like cookie dough that's like a little bit healthy that you make at home, right? Like enjoy those like treats, enjoy those foods because that's what's going to, really make it sustainable for you. Like even the other night we made this delicious yeah, it's like frozen cookie dough bark and oh my gosh, you guys, it is so good. So simple. Gluten-free, just almond flour. Ah, I'm gonna forget it. Almond flour, coconut oil, maple syrup, and chocolate chips. And you guys, I think that was it. Like I think it was just like four ingredients. And you literally mix it up, flatten it out like on a baking sheet or parchment paper, and then sprinkle we made like our own cacao like chocolate syrup or like dressing with cacao powder and maple syrup and coconut oil. Just mix it up and it makes a nice little drizzle over the top and you freeze it. And it's a nice sweet treat that again is gluten free, it's homemade, doesn't have all these artificial nonsense ingredients in it. It's just those single ingredient foods. So again, make it fun, make enjoyment out of what you're consuming without letting it feel restrictive in any way. And then lastly, tip number 3 is going to be your cooking oils. Okay. When you're cooking, we really want to place those seed oils that you're using. And so what I mean by that, like, is replacing canola oil, um, uh, sunflower oil. There's my brain. Sorry, guys. All those seed oils, omit those. Right? We really want to reduce them. It's just so important. There's so many research on how much inflammation it causes, and so we replace those with those higher, where you can cook those oils at higher degrees. Right? So like avocado oil, olive oil are great. Butter, do not fear butter, especially like grass-fed, nice butter like that is great. Ghee butter, coconut oil. Those are nice little healthy fats to use for cooking. So those are the 3 little to kind of wrap it up of like how to meal plan effectively with meal planning. So protein, make a fun and balanced approach, and then replace those seed oils. So I would love for you guys to choose one strategy you plan to use and you're going to use for this month. So right, it's nice because this is the August. You probably have some sort of meal strategy that you're doing right now. What do you want to maintain, or what is something that I went over that you're like, yeah, I could probably, improve a little bit on that or be more mindful of. Whether that's planning, whether that's prepping, whether that's more fresh foods, trying something new, make it a little bit more realistic for you. You feel like you're doing too much, or lastly, prepping. Okay, I would love to hear in the chat what one you plan to start implementing. Okay, as you guys are thinking about it and putting that in the chat, I want to show you some resources. Definitely trying something new every week. Awesome, Ches. Getting fun meal prepping containers on the go. Ooh, I love that, Haley. See, that's where it comes into the fun and balanced approach. You're making it fun. You're getting some new nice containers. That was like a big thing. I feel like once we got like really nice glass containers, like after our wedding, I was like, oh my God, these are so nice. And like, I don't know, it's just something about it. Having some nice containers and different sizes to use. Definitely trying something new. Yes. That's definitely a favorite of mine as well, is just going into the store, getting a new ingredient every time. Again, like a dressing, um, or like I'm trying to think of other ideas we've done recently. Um, like sauerkraut. Okay. I do not like sauerkraut. All right, I'll be honest. I do not like it. Know it's good for my gut. So I've been adding it in with our beef and like putting some cheese on it so it kind of mixes in. My husband says you don't really taste it. I taste it every time. I really do. But something new, right? Something new, good for your gut. Adding that in is really beneficial. All right, so here are some awesome meal recipe blogs. Again, there's so many, so I think it's easy to get overwhelmed with all of those, but I just want to share two that I've been using a lot, and that is Recipe Runner. Thanks, Dimity. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for hopping on. I appreciate it. Um, and then, yeah, Fit Foodie Finds is another one. Those two are awesome, awesome recipe blogs. And if you forget them, don't worry. Don't worry. Plan to Eat is another one. You guys, this one I have to share. Have to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay, so Plan to Eat is a resource online, and you can you can do a free trial. What's so great about this is you literally can go in and put in all the stuff you have in your kitchen, all your ingredients. Like I have all this random stuff, right? And I don't know what to make. You give them the list and they come up with different recipes for you. Like you guys, so cool. Um, and you can save the recipes that you like and enjoy. And it helps save time because it helps create also grow like a shopping list. So like if you have certain uh like recipes you want to make or you add your own recipes on here, it'll formulate a shopping list when you go to the store. You can also schedule meals using the meal planner. So and you can like share it with, right, your family, or your partner. And um, yeah, like here, as you can kind of see the screen, this is how it would look. So you could put like what's in your freezer, you could share it with friends, and then this is all your recipes, and you can throw them in throughout the week. So like, all right, I know we're gonna have it Monday, Wednesday, and it just makes it so simple, and you can change the serving size. So such a great idea if you are struggling, literally just want some organization, right? If you're like looking for that, this is a great resource and really cost effective. Yeah, it's $6 a month if you want to do something like that. But definitely something to explore and do like the free week trial if you definitely want some more organization when it comes to that. I found a lot of clients enjoy this to keep track of, yeah, ingredients, recipes, and have it in one place. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So those are those three resources I mentioned: Fit Foodie Finds, and the Recipe Runner, and then Plan to Eat, and the handout I shared previously. So make sure you guys download that handout I shared. I'll also be sending an email so you guys can have that on hand, and print that off as well. I'm going to share my contact information as well if you guys have further questions. But I appreciate you all being here and would love to know if there's any other questions you guys have or any insights. I'm also offering a little bit of discount as well to this for attending or getting that recording. All you have to do is just send me nutrition, tell me you were here, and you get 20% off if you're interested in some 3-month coaching. And that's where I offer health and fitness coaching, nutrition guidance, and training program. So that would be awesome to take advantage of. But thank you all. This has been so fun, and I hope you found some value in it and have some new strategies to put in place for this week ahead and this month ahead for August. Thanks so much, Trish. Thanks for being here. Yay. Thanks, Ches. Thanks, Lori. Yay. I know. I can't wait for you to have the tacos. So good. So good. All right. Adios. Have a wonderful evening, and thanks for jumping in.